Here's a question I didn't know the answer to this weekend. Am I all in on the Phillies? Because all year
Great
long,
weekend, man.
Hugh, it was an incredible weekend.
Shout out to the people. Like I'm in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to text you guys and figure out what's going on. The coolest thing that I saw was the JT Real Muto
the double slide,
the double run.
Yep.
And who was running? Like, was it Castellanos running up JT's back?
No, the other way around.
Other way around. But
remember, Nick is slow.
Yeah. Okay. But to see that in the City Connect jerseys, man, that was pretty cool. And I hit my foreleg.
Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about that today. All right,
saying.
we got a lot to discuss, but let's start with the Phillies. And I'll just put it very simply. I'm all in now. I needed them, and I said this on Friday. I didn't just need them to beat some good teams because they had at times this year beat good teams. Right, earlier they beat the Dodgers. They had beaten the Cubs. Like they've had moments against good teams. But really, it was one team in particular. It's the Mets. I needed them to beat the Mets for a variety of reasons. Number one, I hate the Mets. Number two, the Mets have had their number for the better part of a year. Before this weekend, it was 12-4 in the last 16 in favor of the Mets, the last 16 times these teams played each other. I needed to see the Phillies take it to the Mets, especially now. And I understand that the Mets are down right now with their pitching, right? Mm-hmm. They're in a tough spot. They're injured. But this is that made it more that they had to beat them. Like if we had lost this weekend with the Mets' best pitchers out, I'd be like, we're never going to beat him. Like we can't beat him now. We're never going to beat him. We didn't just beat him though, Hugh. In 2 of the 3 games, we hit them hard. Friday night, you mentioned the way the runs were and the way the City Connect, and that was an incredible play with the double, safe at home plate. And then last night, Peterson is one of their better pitchers that's actually healthy, and we hit him hard. I mean, Edmundo crushed that ball to right center field, and Schwarber got it all started. That was the weekend I needed. I am all in on this baseball team. Sometimes in a season, you see the moments where all right, I see it. If they can harness it, if they can get to where they got to get to, if they can ace the trade deadline, they could do it because they've beaten the Cubs now. They've beaten the Dodgers. They've beaten the Mets. They've beaten all the teams we think they're going to have to beat to get to the World Series. The pitching was excellent last night with Luzardo. Hugh, I recognize what month it is. It is still only June. But, Hugh, I am all in. Where are you at? All in? Or are you going to tell me, it's still June?
It's still June.
Oh, geez.
But I will tell you the thing that I'm excited about. This is the ebb and flow of baseball for me personally. And I understand that, a lot of diehard baseball fans, they probably won't agree with that sentiment. That's okay. That's just how I choose to watch it and how I choose to view it. 21 runs this weekend.
Yep.
21 runs. That's impressive. That tells me when you talk about that and the run that they've been on with hitting, that's good. That means they're heating up. They're getting comfortable. And when you get Bryce back into this lineup, I feel like they're going to be okay, but still a lot of baseball left to be played. And we've always said, Bryce has to be wherever we go, Bryce has to be a part of that. It's great that we're hitting without him out there. But no, it's still early, and we need him out there, and we need him healthy.
Well, it is early to an extent. I mean, it is June, but we're almost halfway through the season now.
Getting ready for the All-Star team.
And I just thought this weekend was a statement series by the Phillies. And last night, I know it's kind of weird to think it's a must-win. When I turned the TV on last night at 7 o'clock, I needed a win. I mean, it felt like a must-win game. It felt like the temperature, which is obviously extremely hot outside, but the temperature of the city would be based on last night. Like how they perform. If they had lost last night, we would have come in here with the same feeling we've had for a year now. The Mets have our number. The Mets have our number. It doesn't matter who's out there. It doesn't matter what's going on. The Mets have our number. And I thought last night, starting with the Schwarber home run, the Sosa home run, the good defense they played behind them, the way they played last night, the intensity they played with last night, it showed they could be different. And I thought last night Luzardo really had a statement kind of game, Hugh, because he's had an interesting season where, I'd say 90% of his starts have been amazing, but he had those 2 really, really, really bad ones. So it's like, who's the real Jesus Luzardo? Well, we saw last night, when he's not tipping his pitches, he's dominant. It's why I said last week he'd be my number 2 starter in the playoffs. That's not an easy lineup to navigate, and he was mowing them down. He had that back and forth with Soto where he got him, and then Soto kind of like half smiled and tipped his cap to him, yeah, you got me, man. There's not many pitchers that could do that to Juan Soto. Luzardo was excellent last night.
Yeah, you're talking about, from what I was able to see, just cool at the plate, on the mound, and just did his job. Only got hit 3 times in that whole game last night, so gave you 6 innings. Looked like he was cruising for the most part.
I thought he was excellent. And how about listen to him after the game last night. Jesus Luzardo talking about, and I love this, that, maybe they say they're all the same and there's 162, but there's extra juice for some of these games. And clearly, Luzardo's feeling that early on with the Phillies.
Some of your best starts this season have come against some really good teams. You get a little extra juice up for that, and I think that plays a little bit.
Ideally you have the same juice for every start, but I'd be lying if I said starts like tonight you don't bring a little extra, knowing what's on the line. So maybe.
Yeah, more than maybe. He said it. I felt it. You could see it. And he's lived up to it. Luzardo's had 4 starts now against the Cubs, Dodgers, and Mets. 25 2/3 innings, 1 earned run allowed. He was electric last night. And the Phillies gave us an electric weekend. Look, Saturday wasn't good. Abel got hit around, but I didn't expect to sweep the Mets. Yeah. And I actually kind of like the way the series went. Like winning on Friday, starting off with a good feeling. All right, Saturday we dropped that one.
A
little rough, and the Mets obviously have a good lineup, so they're going to have one of those games once in a while where they hit. But then the bounce back last night to get the series.
Strong bounce back, too.
I loved it. 215-592-9494. All right, there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, Kyle, that did not take the pledge, and they wanted to say, I need to wait. I need to see. Right, you have someone in the studio here who claims he took the pledge.
He's unbelievable.
But then you just said it's June after the biggest series of the year.
I am just even killed.
Oh,
I am glad. I'm glad we had the weekend that we had.
Yeah, but you're still saying it's June.
No, because it is. Because, for lack of a better way of saying it, I know how it would have been here this morning if it had went the other way.
Sure, well, isn't that kind of the point, though?
Yeah,
the point. It's not to get your blood pressure all up, Kyle.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
That's exactly the point. If they had lost the series to the Mets, everyone in here is like, see, I told you, they're not a real World Series contender.
I like the thick tongue.
Shut up, dude. I understand that it's June, guys. But, the only thing that could happen, I think, I think everyone agrees, they will probably go into more cold stretches as the season goes on and stuff. But what they've shown throughout the season and during this stretch is that they're one of the true contenders. And I was told for so long they can't beat teams that are over 500. All they do is beat up on the Rockies, beat up on the Pirates. Well, guess what? They got swept by the Pirates, and now they're beating the good teams. So,
screw you saying that.
You idiots. Well, so Saturday doesn't even count for me. Mick Abel's whatever. He's not going to be pitching in a big spot like that, I don't think, at least, unless something goes crazy wrong in October. And Wheeler didn't even have his best stuff Friday. He was awesome. Didn't allow a single run. Jesus Luzardo, he's rise to the moment. That whole tip and pitches thing, it's over. I just want to put it into perspective for people. No Bryce Harper, your best hitter on the team. Alvarado's been out a while. Your best reliever on the team. Mm-hmm. And I understand Aaron Nola wasn't good at all this season, but you're down Aaron Nola. So, and they're still what? They're now 16, 17 games over 500?
47 and 31.
This is a damn good team. They're going to get reinforcements when these guys come back, and they're going to add at the trade deadline. I don't know what more you need to see.
Well, what you saw this weekend was it. I mean, it was the final piece for me because I have held back my excitement for this team over the course of the year. I was one that pointed out, hey, they racked up 10 wins over the Pirates and Rockies the first 2 months of the season. What are they really, right? What are they really? And the thing that was holding me back more than anything was the Mets, because the Mets have been in their head, have had their number for a year now. And this weekend, it felt like that reversed. And I know there's more games to be played, and they'll see the Mets 2 more times, late August and early September, but it felt like they exercised that demon this weekend. I'm all in. 215-592-9494. All right, where are you at on the Phillies after they just had their biggest series win of the year? Are you ready to say you're all in on this baseball team? And when I say I'm all in, I'm not trying to pretend they're perfect. I think we all recognize there are still flaws, but you know what? Every team has flaws. That's the more the season plays out, you see that. The Dodgers are probably still the best team in baseball. They're putting a starting rotation together with bubble gum. I mean, Ohtani's pitching openers just to get him through games. I mean, their pitching is a problem. Now, they hit a lot, obviously, but they're not perfect this season. The Mets, I think, are really good, but their starting pitching is hurt right now, and they're not perfect. The Cubs are good, but we've taken care of them 4 out of 6 times. There's a lot of good teams out there. The Phillies are one of those teams. I'm all in. I took the pledge. Kyle obviously took the pledge. Hugh says he took the pledge. And we find out every time in one of these discussions how clearly you were lying to us.
No. It's what, Kyle? What are you about to say? I know you about to
come on.
What are you about to say?
I just don't believe you took the pledge.
No, I did take
saw
the
you.
pledge. I just tend to be a little bit even more careful.
If you took the pledge, you would be in here right now purchasing your World Series tickets for October. And you're not doing that.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know how much them tickets going to cost. I need to figure that out first.
But you'd be reserving your spot, and you're not doing that.
I'm excited for this team, but when you talk about where they were last year, the record was a little bit better at this mark. Because we're 78 games in, and what is the record again?
47 and 31.
So last year we had 52 wins.
Yeah.
Last year around this time. So we're still around. We're in the same area that we were in last year. But I remember what happened last year after the
you're
All-Star
afraid of
break.
getting hurt.
I am not afraid of getting hurt. I just see how y'all do me. But this is. When we go back in history, and baseball is based in history, I'm about to give y'all a history lesson.
Oh, jeez.
This team, at this point in the season, they're exactly what they've been in the past, correct? They're close to what they've been in the past at this point last year.
Yeah, sure.
After the All-Star break, they tend to, for whatever reason.
Well, last year they did.
Yeah. So for me, I need to see after. Not saying that I'm all in. I took the pledge. I'm with the pledge, but I need to see how they're going to respond after the All-Star break.
Well, yeah, it's a full season, and they didn't win the division last night, but they did something. They gave you a sense.
They gave you hope
that they're up for this, that they're up for the challenge of this season, and it starts in this division. Because I've been saying this all year, the wild card is not going to be just an easy route this year. Winning the division is the only way to guarantee they're going to even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they jumped over the Mets last night. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down on the Phillies after an outstanding weekend? They take 2 out of 3. Wheeler Friday, the double slide on Friday, the double safe. Power yesterday with Sosa and Schwarber. Big-time start from Luzardo. Obviously, Saturday did not go well, but 2 out of 3. I'll take that every time. The Phillies wake up today in first place in the National League East. Are you all in? Or is it, in your mind, still June? Which, obviously, it is, but, only people that didn't take the pledge, like, Hugh Douglas, are saying it's June today.